Think about range. We've seen him make plays in short right field in this shift.
Where do you rank that one, everyone?
The best third baseman. You're looking at him right there.
Yeah, you looking at the realest, man. You see me, break chains and hold me down. I make waves all around. I face danger every day. You know, I'm still unstoppable.
And hello again, everybody. I'm Brian Kenny, and welcome back to MLB Now's Top 10 Right Now, where we rank the best players in baseball in order, position by position. This is a chance to put your own powers of comparative analysis to the test. Today, perhaps one of the strongest of all the positions, third base. Mike Lowell will be with us throughout the hour. We'll have our sabermetric super panel dig deep, and Joe Posnanski is our special guest. But the ultimate top 10 comes from our own proprietary formula, which we call the Shredder. We encourage you to make your own list and compare. Let's start things off by taking a look at the top 10 from last year. This is a star-studded position, but even the top players will have their ups and downs. Jose Ramirez and Rafael Devers were 1 and 2. Veterans Josh Donaldson and Justin Turner were still in the top 5. Kind of surprising, I know, to see Nolan Arenado, Manny Machado down that low. Both figure to rise up after excellent seasons. Here's how they did perform. We'll rank them by WAR. Arenado and Machado were the top 2. Those are big seasons, 8-win, 7-win seasons. Austin Riley and Jose Ramirez, also big years. Alex Bregman was pretty good for the World Series champs, while being aware of the players like Ke'Bryan Hayes and Yandy Diaz. Mike Lowell is back with us once again on Top 10 Right Now. Mike, great to have you back.
Thank you. This is the highlight of my offseason, BK.
Is it? Excellent. That's good.
Yes,
That's good to hear.
It really is.
Well, this is a golden age of third baseman. We've had that for the last couple of years. There are real choices to make at the top and the bottom.
Yeah, it's kind of like, is there a tier 1 where you can interchange, or is there a bottom tier? And we almost had a little wrinkle with the Carlos Correa talks. If he was with the Mets, he would have had a big splash on this list. So this is very interesting, deep players, and some very good players that just missed the list as well.
I was moving ahead with Correa on this list, and then he got off the list. That's another story. Let's start things off, though, at number 10 for the Shredder. We'll get into the just missed. Number 10, as announced exclusively on MLB Network's Twitter, it's DJ LeMahieu of the New York Yankees. LeMahieu had a frustrating season for New York, playing in just 125 games and missing the playoffs. An injury to his toe derailed a good start. He plays multiple positions, and at third base, he is still a plus defender. LeMahieu is going into his age 34 season. That's getting up there, but this is a player still worthy of respect after his stellar first 2 years in the Bronx. Those were outstanding. He averaged a high on base while slugging comfortably above 500 for 2 seasons. Coming off those years, by the way, he was ranked number 2 and number 1 by the Shredder at second base. LeMahieu is still in the top 10. We move to number 9, and at 9, Yandy Diaz of the Tampa Bay Rays. Diaz is another versatile player playing multiple positions for the Rays, but played mostly third base in 2022. He had a .296 batting average with a .401 on base last year. That on base was the 5th best in all of baseball last season. Diaz has good at-bats. He has superior contact skills and plate discipline, and he hits the ball hard. This is a good StatCast stat. It's hard hit per swing percentage. That rewards a player with a low swing and miss and with the ability to hit the ball over 95 miles per hour. Diaz is second in baseball to only Yordan Alvarez. That's a good neighborhood to be in, Mike Lowell. I love Yandy Diaz. Again, the discipline, the guys who have good at-bats, I think that's extremely valuable.
They are valuable, and I think he gets knocked a little bit because he's a little under the radar playing in Tampa, but you realize this guy at the top of that lineup with that .401 on base percentage really sets the tone. I'm looking for him. If he can be comfortable with the reps at third, his defense really takes a knock. You know, he does not rate very well. So if he can improve that, this is a guy who can definitely move up the list.
Yeah, he wasn't even a regular third baseman, then he moved over that. Right, his defensive metrics are not good. You see, -14. Alec Bohm, by the way, he's not even going to be on the just missed because of that. Eduardo Escobar, some players that you're familiar with, but Diaz is absolutely there. Where are you on DJ LeMahieu? I'm puzzled by him.
He's intriguing because if you look at his first 2 years with the Yankees, I think what separated him was the slugging. I mean, he slugged like an elite slugger. Forget second base or third base, just all across Major League Baseball. So if he can get back to that, his beginning of the season was excellent. I'm just not sure how many reps is he going to actually get at third base. He might be that, Swiss Army knife for the Yankees where they might move him to first, second, third. What I do love about DJ LeMahieu, he has very good bat-to-ball skills, as we see here, this hard hit percentage, how he ranks. And I think in that Yankee lineup, where at times they are susceptible to the strikeout, this is a guy who's kind of that that reliable bat in those tough situations. So if you put him behind a Judge or a Stanton, you have to pick your poison. Do I pitch to him or do I pitch to one of the monsters in front?
Again, his 2 years, he was an excellent at bat. He was a guy who put contact, power, the whole package. But now it's been a few years since we've seen that. All right, so just keep that in mind. DJ LeMahieu, Yandy Diaz, and these players. These are the players who were next up for the shredder but did not make the top 10. Now you know what we're dealing with here. Look, Josh Donaldson fell off. That's a big drop from a 127 OPS plus down to a 94. His weighted runs created plus is 97, and he's now going to be 37 years old. Matt Chapman, look, the weighted runs created plus, that's not bad, but it's kind of back-to-back years where he hasn't been very good now. Kind of a drop for him, 2 years down offensively. Eugenio Suarez off a big season, 31 home runs again. Luis Urias is a nice little player. Ryan McMahon can really field. Gene Segura is a good player in a new spot. Who stood out to you?
Well, a couple guys, and they made my list. When you look at Matt Chapman's weighted run created plus, it's good, but this group is so deep that you don't even crack the Shredder's top 10. The other guy is, for me, Eugenio Suarez. I love the power. If you look back since 2018, there's only one Major League Baseball player with more home runs, Aaron Judge. That's pretty elite group. I think his defense has actually improved. He kind of had that one stint at shortstop where they tried him out, and that did not work out well. So I'm looking for Eugenio Suarez to continue to have the power. You know, now he's got his feet wet another year there in Seattle. So those two guys really stood out to me. I mean, Chapman actually was a guy who was way up on the list a few years. You know, you look at his defense and his potential offensive numbers. He's kind of settled in. He's still that 25-plus home run guy. He can be very serviceable, much more, I think, a above-average complimentary player than maybe your standout guy in the lineup.
We thought he was a star.
Yep.
I say, look, those are now, I try to look at the last 2 years, so I can ignore 2020, which is a strange season, short season, but that's 2 full seasons to look at. Chapman isn't way up there. Neither is Suarez, but I'll say this, Suarez, even in a down year, is hitting 31 home runs.
He sure is.
I know what you mean. You should probably go with him there, too. Look, there's been changes here. Anthony Rendon is nowhere near the just missed. He was toward the top for a long time. Chris Bryant has moved positions. Donaldson is a former #1, and now he's moved way down. Like, age might be settling in on Josh Donaldson. Well,
it matters, and I think, especially when we talk Matt Chapman, hip injury, you know, for a guy that moves laterally for your hitting, you know, that power position where, you know, you gotta really lean into the ball. Those guys, I think, injuries have taken a little bit of hit. With Josh Donaldson, he was one of my perennial top 3s, you know, year in, year out.
Absolutely.
Still plays excellent defense, so I think if he can swing the bat, he can be an asset to the Yankees, and then you have the luxury of moving DJ LeMahieu around. And
for me, you know, Ryan McMahon, Kid Brian Hayes, you got to hit league average.
You got to
make this top. Those guys can really field. It's important, but you've got to hit to get on the top 10. Just getting started now on MLB Now's top 10 third baseman right now. Here are a few hints for the player who's number 8 on the list. 5th straight appearance on the Shredders list. First time, though, at third base. 10th in baseball in home runs since the start of 2018. Third highest walk percentage last year as well. Who's at number 8? That player is next.